Her husband had just been transferred out of town. The wife heartlessly abandoned their young kids and sick in-laws. She boarded a train going the opposite direction of her husband. She even threw the only gift he had ever given her out the window, ready to embrace a brand new life of her own. But unexpectedly, that scene was seen by her husband sitting across the tracks. He thought he must be mistaken, because he couldn't believe that his wife, who usually only cooked and cleaned, would give up the title of commander's wife and leave him. What he didn't know was, the woman had already earned her national broadcaster's license and was about to become the very first news anchor on national TV. In her past life, she had given up that chance, just to take care of her in-laws and 2 kids, while her husband left with Annie, who grew up with them, and moved hundreds of miles away to an island. From then on, she had to get up early every day to cook for the family, send the kids to school, and then rush to the factory. At night, she tutored the kids with homework and looked after her in-laws' health. Even though her husband never came home once, she endured that life for 10 whole years. But when she finally waited for her husband to return, she found the 2 kids she had raised with care were closer to Annie than to her. Even her husband openly held Annie's hand. He told her he and Annie were getting married at the end of the month, that he had no feelings or common language with her, and that Annie had waited for him so many years. She deserved to be rewarded. The woman couldn't believe her ears. Her son even said their marriage was arranged by the elders, and such a marriage never really counted. Her daughter went further, saying only a talented woman like Annie was worthy of her father, to avoid her clinging to him. The man even said they were never legally married, that it was only a fake wedding to appease their parents. Then he moved the whole family and Annie into a new house, leaving the sick woman alone in the old home to fend for herself. One day she saw on TV her husband proposing to Annie in front of everyone, thanking Annie for standing by him all these years. When it came to her, his face was full of disdain. She finally realized all her years of sacrifice meant nothing to him. Furious and full of regret, she coughed up blood and sadly passed away. Maybe even God felt sorry for her, because when she opened her eyes again, she had been reborn. Back to the very day she refused the job offer from the TV station, but this time she would never let the tragedy happen again. She immediately grabbed her certificate and accepted the invitation. 15 days later she would head to the city to be a host, but as soon as she got home, Annie poured water all over her. Annie pretended to apologize, saying she didn't see her. The 2 kids even circled Annie, asking her to be their mom, thinking of how she raised them with all her effort, only for them to have no feelings for her, and even want someone else as their mother. She decided right then to abandon both kids. At that moment the man appeared. Annie immediately acted pitiful and blamed everything on her. The man glared at her with hostility, but today she showed no fear at all. Even stranger, when the kids said they were hungry, the woman who used to rush to cook for them now acted as if she hadn't heard a thing. So the man had no choice but to take them out to eat. Annie ordered a whole table of spicy food. The woman knew well the man's stomach couldn't handle spice, and the kids had never been allowed to eat spicy food, yet now they happily ate everything Annie ordered. The woman felt her past sacrifices had all been a joke. While she was drowning in regret, Annie purposely spilled boiling soup as the waiter served. The hot liquid burned the woman's arm, but the man and kids rushed to check on Annie instead, leaving the woman with severe burns ignored. Then they all went to the hospital to treat Annie's minor injury, leaving her behind at the restaurant alone. She had to go to the hospital by herself.